Tonight on Golden State Warriors News, we're not just talking about another game or another stat line. We're talking about what this Warriors team is actually becoming. After a statement win over the Kings and everything analysts have been saying, there's a deeper story here. A story about identity, evolution, and resilience in a league that never stands still. This isn't a reaction to a single highlight. This is a narrative of a team redefining itself. Before we dive into details, let's hear a moment from ESPN where insiders describe the Warriors' identity shift, not just as players, but as a cultural presence.
And I don't almost, because we haven't talked to you for a few weeks, I almost don't know where to start. We've kind of been saving Warriors stuff till you come back, but I almost don't know where to start. I'll let you start.
Let's start with Draymond.
Okay.
To me, Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler's futures, in my opinion, seem very secure with the Warriors. And while Draymond Green, I would very heavily predict he remains here past the trade deadline. To me, considering the trades that could or couldn't be made and some of the building blocks needed, and his play recently compared to the other two, mega stars on the team, is a little bit more in question. And then obviously you mix in some of the ejections, the storming off the bench, the stuff with Steve Kerr, which I know you talked about with McMahon and Bontemps. He has had a little bit of a roller coaster that I think has settled a bit, partly because typically with Draymond, it's a little bit of like a boiling over, an explosion, and then a resettling. And I think they've said it. They said it last night. His focus level has been really good in the last week or so, and his dealings with teammates and coaches and all that has gotten into a good place. I thought it was interesting last night. There was a lot of talk yesterday because Steve Kerr had gotten ejected, right? We talked about in the Clippers game, and said that his mother was very upset with him. So Nick Friedel asked a question to Draymond about what's his mother been mad at him, and Draymond just whips his phone out and starts reading recent text messages by his mom, who is a legendary figure back to the Dynasty days, just killing him for getting ejected and his recent play and all that. And said that one of the texts was, "We need to have a heart-to-heart." And he's like, I left that on red. I haven't replied to that because he wanted to stack up a few games before having this heart-to-heart. And to the point of he is trying right now to, it seems like, get his season back on.
That's the narrative that's been developing. This team hasn't fallen apart. It's wrestling with identity. We saw Draymond take accountability, and even the analysts are now acknowledging he's centered himself. This is growth, not chaos, and you can feel that transition on the court. Now, let's hear what Coach Steve Kerr and the ESPN analysts had to say about how this team is handling its mistakes, directly addressing turnovers and the realities of today's NBA.
Really, internally, they've just been saying, stop turning it over. He's been turning it over like crazy. And they apparently had this meeting where Steve, as you said, he laid it out and said, we're not as good as we used to, so these turnovers can't be as common. Number one, less margin for error. But two, what I thought was interesting, he said the league is different and these young up-tempo teams feast off those live ball turnovers, and it has killed them in a bunch of games. I can remember the game in Portland, Steph Curry scores 48. They lose the game because there was a ton of turnovers. Like Toronto the other day, y'all watched that game where they just collapsed late? It was just a wave of turnovers. So yes, but Steve's going to go out the way he wants to go out. He's always been a great talker, and he's probably being even more transparent than ever. But also, Steve Kerr's the number one TV free agent if he wants to be. He could jump back into coaching if he wants, although he says, he's not leaving Steph for another job. He could also go chill in San Diego, Brian. I mean, I know you remember we were there this summer. He has a decent little setup if he just wants to kind of, fade away into the background, come back onto TV if he wants. Politics, I'm not saying he's going to, but if he wanted to, I know a lot of people in the state of California that would be interested in him getting mixed into that. So to me, there's an empowerment and a freedom to him, right?
That's the real heart of the culture shift. Honest confrontation. Kerr didn't sugarcoat it. He confronted the issue of turnovers because in this new NBA, mistakes are punished instantly. But instead of hiding from it, the Warriors are learning and adapting. That's how contenders are built. Now we zoom out, because even with identity and culture trending in the right direction, the Warriors operate in a brutally deep Western Conference. Here's what the FanDuel analysts had to say about that standing.
Sitting pretty in the 8th spot, 19 and 18. We know all the drama, we know the injuries, we know everything they've gone through. They've been a play-in team last 2 seasons.
See this.
Talk to me.
I'll tell you this: if we could just take a little look-see at the board, I think those top 6. I think they're there to stay. I think those are the best 6 teams.
I agree.
In the West. So now we're looking at either play-in or Turks or Cancun, whichever you prefer. I think Golden State is a play-in team. I think the West is too deep. Like we said, there's not much room. There's not much teams to jump in this conference. It is stacked. It is loaded. It is balanced. I do think they are better off than those teams behind them, than Portland, Memphis. I think the Clippers, we'll get there. I think the Clippers are kind of the wild card here, but I think it's a safe pick to say they are a play-in. And again, we're talking about Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond as a 1 or 2, or as a 7 or 8 seed. Like, things are going to get weird in the playoffs in the West.
Side note, I hate that Clippers logo. Just side note.
I don't even know which one it is.
I had to look for it. I was like, wait, I forgot it was a ship now.
Is it 12?
Whatever. Yeah, it's 12.
Sucks.
Okay, Boogie, what do you think?
I think the Warriors are a playing team.
Okay.
They're in a really, really weird place right now. Obviously, you have your superstar, and Steph Curry, who I think still has enough time and career left to make more championship pushes. For some reason, the coaching staff, the front office, I don't think they're on the same page as far as moving forward. Even when it comes to the young talent, it's not really being developed. It's also the situation of devaluing the young talent to where you can't even go and get talent to replace it. It's just a really, really weird situation. I mean, obviously you have Jimmy Butler there, you have Draymond Green there, you have established winners within the organization, but it's just everything else around it. It just seems like they're not on the same page. So I'm going to go play in for the Warriors.
By the way, speaking on Kuminga, there are reports from yesterday that saying we've seen him in a Golden State game.
All the talk becomes real on the court, and nobody can argue with a 137-103 blowout win. Let's see the moments that confirm everything we've been discussing: execution, chemistry, leadership. That's the payoff. When a team moves the ball like that, when bench contribution thrives, when Curry leads with precision and the other pieces play fearless, that's not luck, that's culture meeting execution. Warriors Nation, let's be honest, this isn't the dynasty machine of the past, but it is a franchise that's evolving, a team that acknowledges reality, adapts with honesty, and competes with heart in the deepest conference the NBA has seen. This is not decline. This is reinvention. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think the Warriors are evolving into a new kind of contender? Which element, leadership, culture, or tactical adjustment matters most to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you're with this team, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss another deep dive from Golden State Warriors news. Let's go.